I've lived in the same house my entire life. I've always felt suspicious that there's something in our basement. It's quite big, with 2 doors on each side, but overall, it's very beat up, dusty, and filled with random stuff. It's been like that forever, and we never really thought about getting it fixed, since we only go down there to do laundry or store things. I hadn't gone down there in a while, but about a month ago, I adopted a cat. She's a very sweet and affectionate girl who loves to play. We were downstairs in the living room, and she was playing as usual with her favorite ball, running around. Then the ball went down the basement stairs. After the ball fell down, my cat ran, grabbed it, and came back upstairs to continue playing. She then started throwing the ball down there and running after it. That's just something she enjoys doing. She enjoys running after them on stairs. She did that a few times, but after the 6th time, she meowed continuously and loudly, came running back up without her ball, which was very unusual, and looked extremely scared. She hid behind me, and her tail was extremely fluffy, which happens when she's scared. She continued to meow and then ran upstairs to hide for about 10 minutes. I knew something was up, so I decided to go downstairs. The 2 doors that had been shut were somehow open on their own. I didn't think much of it, so I just shut them, grabbed her ball, and tried to comfort her. Then, a few days ago, I couldn't find my cat anywhere and decided to look in the basement just in case she was there. As I was about 2 steps away, I saw the door on the right crack open all by itself with my own eyes. I screamed, and my cat came running down once she heard me. She started hissing and meowing at the door. I quickly shut the door and ran upstairs with my cat. Since then, my cat has never gone down there, and she looks terrified whenever she sees me going down. This has happened a few times. The doors are shut when I leave, and I come home to find them open. Overall, it's very weird. I'm planning on putting a camera down there to prove it to my guardians, as they think I'm crazy. I also posted a video of what the basement stairs and doors look like on my account if you want to check it out. And for those of you who think there is a squatter in the basement, it's not a walkout basement. The basement is completely underground, where you would have to be inside the house to get in. I went through a couple of paranormal experiences as a kid, but people always told me I was just imagining it. It's tall, dark, has no face, and normally stands in a corner. I've seen him my whole life, and he never really moves. This isn't really important to the story. A few months ago, my boyfriend and I moved into a new neighborhood, and it was fine until about 2 months ago when I woke up in the middle of the night, and my shadow person was standing over me, something he's never done before. I told my boyfriend, and he said it was fine. I started seeing him a little more often, and this time he would move. One night, my boyfriend told me he was dizzy, and I told him to close his eyes. I couldn't take care of him because I saw my shadow figure move quickly across the ceiling a couple of times, and it scared me. In the morning, my boyfriend said he had difficulty sleeping because the ceiling was moving. I hadn't told him I saw anything last night, or that it was on the ceiling above us. I know it's not in my head anymore. Other things have also been happening. The other day, I felt a consistent tapping on my shoulder, and when I looked at it, I saw an indent in my skin before the tapping stopped completely. About a month ago, someone hit a possum, killing it, and it stayed on the road for 17 days and smelled really bad. I know because I jog every night and had to pass it. On day 17, I walked out for my midnight run, and there was a possum outside our door that smelled awful, but ran away as I passed the spot where the dead possum should have been. It was gone. I had driven home from work at 8:30, and the corpse was still there then. I don't believe that after 2 weeks, animal control came to deal with it after hours. I know that possum somehow managed to get up. I've ignored a lot of the weird shit, but tonight was it. I was on my run. I do 5 laps, and I was on lap number 4, right past my house. I was looking at my phone when it suddenly smelled like death. It smelled worse than the possum that sat rotting for 2 weeks. I'd passed this spot less than 10 minutes ago, and it smelled fine. When I looked up to see where this ungodly smell was coming from, I was suddenly in dense fog. I looked several yards behind me and it was clear as day. This fog just came out of nowhere. I looked at the overcast street lamp and saw a shadow move. I did not mess with that. I was scared and called my boyfriend while sprinting home. My boyfriend ran out to meet me. From the front of our house, we could see very clearly that the fog was only in one part of the street, with my boyfriend telling me we needed to get inside because someone was behind me. I looked around, but nothing was there. Can someone please tell us what the hell we're dealing with? I don't know what to do because I don't know what's going on. Can anyone help? Please? This happened in 2005 when I was 16. A few friends and I were out in town one summer evening. It was probably 5:30 or 6 p.m., and we decided we wanted to go ghost hunting at a nearby cemetery. At the time, I didn't believe in ghosts, but they always interested me. Plus, I just liked hanging out with my friends. We were walking around for probably 15 minutes or so when this little girl, probably 5 or 6 years old, came running out from behind one of the headstones. She was wearing a little dress with light blue and white checkered designs. My friends and I looked at each other like, "What the hell is this little girl doing out here?" My friend Mark said, "Maybe she's here for a funeral?" I told him there was no way there was a funeral going on this late in the evening. So I asked her, "Hey, where are your parents?" She didn't say a word, just turned and pointed to a section of the cemetery. I moved around, trying to see if I could find anybody, but I didn't see anyone. She then giggled and gestured for us to follow her. So we followed her for probably 100 yards or so, still not seeing anyone, much less anyone who could be her parents. Then she stopped and pointed at 2 headstones, and my heart sank. This poor girl had 2 dead parents, but then I thought, well, where the fuck are her guardians? My other friend James said to the little girl, These are your parents?" His face was drained of all color. He looked like a ghost himself. The girl nodded silently. I was completely oblivious to what was going on, so I asked her, "Where are the people you're staying with now?" James looked at me and whispered, "Hey, look at the graves." I looked down and read, "In loving memory of Jane Doe, 1966 to 1993, and in loving memory of John Doe, 1962 to 1993. I thought, 1993? These people died over 10 years ago. This girl is no older than 6. There is no way these are her parents. I turned back to her, and she was gone. It all fell into place then. I started freaking out and noticed 2 more smaller headstones. My heart sank even deeper. In loving memory of Johnny Doe 1990 to 1993, and in loving memory of Jenny Doe 1988 to 1993. On the far end of the 2, there was a plaque that read, "Drinking and driving is never okay," with a picture of 4 angels, 2 adults, and 2 kids. We all looked at each other like, what the hell just happened? At this point, we were like, okay, enough ghost hunting for one evening. I think it's time to leave. I think about this day from time to time, especially when I drive by a car accident.